They would act tonight, under cover of the darkness and the weather. They would be swift and merciless, and then they would feast. On the island, the night had teeth. So today I'm going to be reviewing Castaways by Brian Keene. I listened to the audiobook simply because it was narrated by Chet Williamson. I love his narration, and he's becoming one of my favorite audiobook narrators. Earlier in 2021, I listened to two other Brian Keene novels, Take the Long Way Home and The Complex. And those two are also read by Chet Williamson, and I absolutely love those novels. So the book is about these people participating in a television game show called Castaways. And Castaways is essentially the television show Survivor. Brian Keene is a fan of Survivor, if I'm not mistaken. I watched an interview, and I think he was actually trying to get on the television show. But anyway, I think that's how he got the idea for this book. But he just put his own spin on it and had cannibalistic Homo erectus descendants that eat people and rape people. Yeah. Trigger warning. I mean, this right here should tell you that it's not for the faint of heart. This book's pretty rough. There are some scenes in here that some people might not be able to get through. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, this book was supposed to be an homage to Richard Lehman, and if you ever read Richard Lehman books, he always has some sort of rape in there. Yeah, you gotta use your own discretion when reading this book. If that's not your thing, just stay away, you know? But yeah, yeah. So one thing about Brian Keene, one of the reasons I love his writing is the characters. He's an absolute master at characters. There's one particular one, his name is Troy. He is probably my favorite Brian Keene character thus far. Troy is kind of what I call the Eddie Dean of the group. He's foul-mouthed, and he's a wise ass. Some other characters worth mentioning are Becca and Jerry. The story actually opens up with Becca, and she's kind of thinking about why she's even there on the island and how she got picked. She just got out of college, and she lives with her parents and can't find a job. Yeah, that's her character. Jerry represents the everyman, and back home he owns a video store. And there's actually one scene in the book where he's talking to Becca about how video rentals are just gonna, be a thing of the past, and he's gonna have to do something and close down his shop. And that's actually one of the reasons why he's wants to win the show so bad, so he can win the $1 million and open up I think it's like a comic book store or a chain of comic book stores / cafes. So that's Jerry. He's cool. So Castaways sort of reminded me of Off Season by Jack Ketchum, another great extreme horror book. Splatter punk or whatever. And that's kind of sort of like a trend with people that read Brian Keene, is they like Richard Lehman and they like Jack Ketchum. So if you like Off Season, you're probably going to enjoy Castaways. So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. I don't want to spoil anything by saying anything further. It's a good book. 4 stars. I enjoyed listening to the audiobook, so I mean, I recommend that. But if you decide to read the paperback, I mean, hey, it's your choice. Castaways by Brian Keene. Check it out!